I love Ederson. I'm buzzing on watching this. Sweeper, yeah. The quality of the save has to be compared to the quality of the goal if he doesn't save.
Just got away from him at the last moment.
So David, we're going to talk a bit about Ederson's 4 seasons at Man City. How do you, first of all, before we go look at the clips, rate his 4 seasons as a goalkeeper in the Premier League?
I love Ederson. I love his style because when City signed him, I went through a load of video footage to see what he was about, and I was just impressed. I mean, brave. The fact he can boom the ball is always handy, but there's just something about it because there's almost like this action man version of goalkeepers. You know, they look very, very similar with different uniforms on, whereas Ederson is just a completely different model, and I love it.
How do you think you'd have got on if you were asked to do that? You know, in your prime years, do you think
I would have trained, let's be right. I mean, I would have trained to do that. I didn't want to say I didn't need to do it. That wasn't something that we were instructed to do. I think, you know, you can train. I'm not saying I would have been as good as that, but I would have trained to be better than what I was. So I'd have quite enjoyed it, even though there would have been the odd mistake. I'm sure.
Do you think goalkeeping's changed from when you were at City, and he has different demands on him potentially?
Yeah, I mean, the evolution of football will dictate that the roles and responsibilities of goalkeeper are different. But I think with Ederson, he can do all the fundamental stuff very well, which makes him and add that to his passing ability, his kicking ability, his temperament, and you've got yourself a world-class goalkeeper.
This is about his ability on the ball as a sort of sweeper keeper.
Yeah, he was an outfield player who became a goalkeeper, so I think in that sense, you know, he is a footballer in every description, but it's just having the confidence to be able to do it. I mean, even in the middle of the park, for him to be doing that would be special on occasions, but to be doing it knowing that the only thing behind you is a goal. Look at that. Oh man, I love it. Yeah.
Do you think it took a little while for fans to get used to his style?
Yeah, I don't think, and this is the beauty of it, he's got so much confidence. And if you look at him playing the game, there's a side to him which is slightly awkward, and I don't mean physically, but he just looks a little bit awkward compared to, as I say, the action man prototype goalkeepers, if you like. Not prototype, sorry, the action man sort of cliche goalie. Sweeper keeper, yeah. Yeah, he gets a bit of fortune, I think. But if you look at the bigger picture, I mean, I used to sort of come racing off my line. Occasionally it didn't work. Like Ederson in that clip there, occasionally you get a bit of fortune that the ball bounces up, hits you, doesn't, then you can continue. But again, it's a confidence thing. What I did do once was concede a goal in a training session from the halfway line, and that pushed me back. It's kind of, there's little things that happen, and you've got to, again, have the confidence like Ederson has to say, right, this can happen every now and again, but I know that playing in that position is more beneficial over the longer term than me worrying about the odd mistake.
Chase that to Traoré, well read by Ederson.
I was there. Was I there? No, I wasn't there. There's fans. Oh, what I said, double save. So I went to the next one. The 1-0 draw. So when Phil Foden came to prominence. Yeah, I mean,
he's not only a guy.
No, well, this is it. I mean,
he's fundamentally a great goalkeeper.
Yeah, goalkeepers make saves. So it's just the dexterity, the agility to be able to, in this West Ham one, the first save in itself is quite standard, it's hitting his head. I always think the quality of the save has to be compared to the quality of the goal if he doesn't save it. So if the first one hits your face, it's not necessarily a great save because if your hands were moved, then it would hit you in the face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to actually get up for the second one, stop it, if he hadn't have done that and gone in, no one would have blamed him. So that is a fantastic save.
Do you think maybe that part of his game is overshadowed because he's so good with his feet? And
If you can sort of compare goalkeepers with strikers, it's almost like the saves to goals. You know, if a striker scores a goal, he's a great striker. If he misses, he's not. But there's so much more that a striker does in a game of football that sometimes not scoring is not the important bit. Just like Ederson, if he's not making as many saves, it's because he can ping the ball 70 yards, he can come out, sweep up. And when it comes to a highlight montage, or usually on the news, and Man City have won 1-0, it rarely includes Ederson running out of his box to intercept a through ball.
Which might have stopped a goal.
Which, yeah, undoubtedly would have stopped a one-on-one and potentially the goal, yeah. So
Ederson Moraes puts his body on the line for the team.
Would you like? Could you see him ever taking penalties for City?
he reckons he's the best penalty taker for City. I thought he was going to take one at the end of the season.
Do you think he's got the right personality though to be a penalty taker? Because he seems supremely confident.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you've got a team full of superstars.
Have you ever taken any penalties in a game, or taken in training?
In training, yeah, I could do. Liverpool, we had a pre-season. I think that's the closest I've got. Maybe I would have taken the next one in Euro 2004 had Darius scored. But pre-season, yeah, just smashed it in. I mean, it's not difficult. It's 12 yards.
Yeah.
I'm saying that. I did play the charity match, and I hit the crossbar.
So, Ederson isn't the only Man City keeper to show his outfield abilities. So, tell us the story behind when you went up front.
See, Nicky Weaver is stood in the background there with his kit on. I didn't even notice this. At half time, I go into the change room and Chappie goes, "I've printed your shirt off." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, I've printed your shirt off." And I'm like, "Shut up, don't worry about it. I'm just concentrating on the game." So I didn't even know what he was really talking about. And, the game's going on, it's 1-1. And all of a sudden the board goes up. And it's like, I can see Nicky Weaver stood next to him and I'm thinking, "Hey, what's going on here? Why am I coming off?" Yeah, so I ran over and then obviously my shirt came out with one on it, Nicky Calio came off. Yeah, I won every header. Wow, these are the good clips. But these clips are better because they show me winning headers.
What minute in the game was it?
I don't know. I always thought that I was out there for about 15 minutes. And then someone told me it was like the 87th or 86th minute.
So it wasn't a pre-planned because...
See, no one was on. Do you know, I'm so glad I'm watching these clips. Because no one was on. I've seen the YouTube version, which is less complimentary. But there was no one on for the pass. And quite often, it's just strangest things, I'll be cutting the grass. And this moment here where I'm sort of doing lefts and rights, doing little turns, and then I don't know who I've smashed there, but I sort of think to myself, if I rolled my foot over the ball and then done a cut back, could I have hit it with my left foot?
You're still thinking about it now?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm buzzing on watching this because I've actually had a few headers. This is a crazy thing. I've watched the YouTube version. There's like one header. And I was thinking, I seem to remember loads of headers. And I was thinking, yeah, because when people said to me, "Oh, you played up front," I said, "Yeah, and I won every header." So where does it rank? On the day, and that was the most important thing. It was a strategy based around us qualifying. So in Pearce's mind, for me to play up front, obviously was going to be more beneficial to us qualifying than John Macken. We did have the penalty, which Robbie missed. Had Robbie scored, I know it's all the ifs, buts and maybes, had he scored, irrespective of how many people I kicked on that pitch, it would have been a masterstroke.
Just got away from him at the last moment.